My name is Doug Fay, and I have EMC with me here today. And this morning, we're going to spend a lot of time talking about a lot of stuff that we've talked about before. And if you hadn't noticed, I got a mat out here. This is a little different, and so we're going to try to get a little bit more involved. Now, the Sangaku system, when we handle each other, it was imperative that we have a hygiene policy. And that's instructed in the book. And so today you're going to understand why the mat and your feet need to be clean, because it's kind of rude, some of the techniques that we have to do. And so we're going to follow along with them. If you'll just bear with me, can I have that baby picture thing for a minute? So I got a bunch of stuff here. And so on our first class, hello, Sensei. Arigato gozaimasu. I love you with all my heart. You're a great guy. I met another great guy on YouTube the other day, and we'll talk about him later. But on the very first class we had, I said, well, this is how Kyoshi makes a fist, right? And so I rolled back my deal, and I said, okay, yeah, roll the finger, and you roll the finger, and you roll the finger, and you bring the thumb over. Well, you know, about a bazillion guys on the planet said, that's not how you do it. You're supposed to lock your fingers, and this and that and the other thing. I said, well, all right. So today I'm going to explain why we do that. Then bring that camera up a little bit closer if you can't see my hand. Okay, so when you bring your hand to that position, right? A lot of guys want to lock that finger over and stuff. Some people like to do this, right? And that still hurts. I'm not going to tell you you get cracked with that, doesn't hurt. But my goal is that you didn't get hurt. So I taught you a hand position so that if any impact was on these fingers could move back. When they're balled up and they're locked in and they hit, there's a chance you could break your finger. You say, well, nobody hits that hard. EMC, come on out here for a minute. Would you make a fist improperly for me, please? That's an improper fist. You get the thumb locked under. I know it looks so great. A lot of folks think that's cool. Sometimes they'll take this thumb and go over the top. And it got those fingers all crunched up, just like that. In Budo, we talk about energy drain. We talk about the end of the fingers being the end of a peripheral part of something internal. You say, well, why am I making such a big deal out of the fist, Kyoshi? Okay, it's the end of the organ system. You know, heart, lungs, come on, you got to have them, right? You get the little heart over here, you got your metals, you got your lungs, you got your large intestines. Right in your hand, fire and metal. So if you make an improper fist, and you run into a guy like me and Sensei, you're going to grab your hand and crush them fingers. You see that? If he makes the proper hand, I'm going to be sliding off the top of that puppy all day. Nothing for me to grab onto. So you guys, like me, are not the toughest guys on the planet. Take advantage of a mistake. Make an improper fist. Improper grab. You say, well, how does that happen? Well, here comes the punch. Hand shot clear. Monkey chop, hand transfer. See what he's giving? Can you see that? What are you going to give me? What do you think? You think I want to take advantage of that? I sure would. So from the very simplest posture we begin to talk about, making your hand might make a difference in the success story you're going to have or not going to have. It's a safety mechanical thing. Remember I talked about medical? Okay, we're going to study Qigong. I want to protect them points. Because there's people that know what I know. And you don't know it yet. So I'm teaching it to you. Okay. Sometimes a picture is 1,000 words. If you can't see it, I'm going to bring it up to the camera for you. We did that for Facebook Live. It's a baby's hand. Do you guys see that? Is that not a baby's hand? And a grown-up's hand. Perfect. The kid knows how to make a proper fist. The kid knows how to breathe. Ha! We might want to take a lesson from the kid, right? So in the Budo that I know, it talks about taking your natural abilities and doing something that's kind of supernatural, kind of, sort of. But really, something as simple as making a fist can be the difference in your success or your failure. Okay, well, we wrap our hands up and wear gloves. Great. I can't go to my job with my gloves on. Okay? I can't go to work with my helmet on. They have to walk around like every other human. Okay? So that's just a nice lesson. Secondly, Bill, we talked about men who are willing to help children. Fathers who pay their way and take care of their kids. That's a big item for us, isn't it, Bill? Okay, well, I got. Thank you. I got guys on our on Facebook and on YouTube getting a hold of us now, and they tell me, they say, "Sir, would you be our father's school?" And I said, "Well, yeah." And I said, "What's your deal over there?" And they're in all parts of the globe, Bill. This guy touched my heart the other day. He said, "We don't get a lot of information here, and we've been practicing a form of martial art for 10 years. Would you be our parent school?" And I said, "Well, yeah. We got a computer problem, or is it just the way it's going on?" Nothing's wrong. Hang on with us, folks. Nothing's wrong. Okay. So anyway, he tells me, he says, I have 10 boys, and they have no father. And I take them in, and I'm trying to teach them something so they have a place to go. That sound like us, Bill? We never want our doors to be closed, and so we wrote back to them. We said, if we're very successful, and a lot of folks will help us, well, those are the kind of schools we want to work with. We want to work with senseis who want to help their guys. Okay, so I covered that part, and I want to just stay on a martial art program for you guys today. I think about you all week, and I said, well, what can I cover, and how can I help you the most? So today when I talked about that fist thing, I kind of gave you a reason why I don't think you should do that. Do what you want. Now the next thing I want to talk about is something that's really important for your overall safety, and you're welcome to sit. You're welcome to just sit during the lecture, and when I need you to be physical, one of the things I know about kneeling is it'll occlude your popliteal artery, and from what I understand about Asian and Anglo-Saxon bodybuilders, it's that we're really not built to do that very long. So if your feet are going numb, you probably can't stand up. Your enemy's going to get you. So be like a cat. Be ready to get up. So I always talk about my students, and if you're gonna, I have another guy. He got a hold of me on YouTube. Said I studied a long time, but then I got hurt. I can't do it anymore. And the game, right? Fell down. So I said, okay, this brings me to the topic that I want to discuss. Proper falling and improper falling. And so today for our Facebook folks, and you guys have probably already covered this, but there's probably some 10-year-old kid out there that don't even know this. So we want to help, right? He'll lay down for me. And he's going to put his hands back like this. He's going to turn his neck. He's got all flopped out there, right? When you look at this, you go, that's not how you're supposed to fall. I hope you agree with me, right? Flat on his back, all splayed out. You know, the back of his hands are going to hit stuff. And if you haven't ever hit the back of your hands on concrete, go lay down on the ground, beat the back of your hand on the concrete. You won't do it very long. Back of your head's even better. And then we have the proper position for falling, which is linear. So that you're not on your spine, all your long bones are engaged, and because we're a Budo art, he's prepared to defend that area. He protected himself with that slap to protect his spine, but yet he has an item up here. So there's 2 points of contact to the floor that he's preparing himself for when he gets here. Just because you got thrown don't mean it's over. Just because you got tripped. And now the exercise is to flip. And to flip, and to flip. Thank you. Now, I know you guys practice that stuff because that's what we've been doing. Right? So, here's what happens. If that guy don't get hurt, the other thing that happens, I'm going to just do something to him here for a second, and I'll throw him down. Go ahead, fall down for me. There it is. Fall down for me. Okay. And so, he threw himself over there, right? There you go. Oh, man, I just did a throw on him. And, you know, and our standard is to put the knee down. But look, he stole it all from me. So we're going to go back to a technique that's familiar to everybody. And we're going to end up back here, and I'm going to talk about a bunch of stuff along the way. Okay. You go to punch me in here. And you did that white thing, right? Right? You did that? Right? Is that all right? Height? Okay. So, you got some yang stuff out here, right? Backside of the arm? You got some yin stuff in here. So on the inside of the arm, right? We're all good with that? Where'd I hit him? See where I got him? Right. Right over. Little turn, and the other hand. Now, where am I? My thumb? Didn't leave him, did it, Bill? Drain. Then you go over this hip throw, and you got this wrap. That's where we're going to stop right now. Okay, we had a class a while back on Jodan Barai. And I said, when you get that arm all stretched out, that's the weakest point, isn't it? I did say that, right? So now I'm over here and I'm giving you a throwing class. And I got you putting your arm out here in the weakest position it could be in. You're thinking, well, wait a minute. What would you do, Kyoshi? I'm glad you asked me. Because it's imperative that you make this easy on yourself. I'm holding, I'm draining, right? I'm going to place my hip in here. He's got a leg, so there's my first part. Second part. I didn't give up my arm, did I? Come back up. Okay, so in our art form, we like to try to hang on to this so we can do more later. We all in agreement? I got him drained out here. Now move his head. He just moved his head. He got his balance. There. There he goes. Down he goes. Now in some sequences, this joker wants to roll over here like that, right? You're over here, you try to push your knee down here. You say, what? What am I supposed to do, Kyoshi? I said, okay, we're going to work this out for you. Come on up. Now, let's just say that really hurt him. Right? And he puts his arm down. Well, then you got to go to a different technique. But when we're practicing, we want to get that arm up. Right? I want to drain that energy, and I want to have a hold of this spot at some point. I like that spot. Okay? I'm not going to do this. I'll turn his head. Take a position and grab that gi. Down he goes. Okay. I'll break his fall. Now I'm going to fall on the floor. Okay? If he's not where I want him, I'm going to drag him over here. Okay? He rolls over the ball on me. He won't give it to me. Hey, he's going to crawl over there. Get back over here. I'll put him where I want him. Now, punch. Right? He's weak. I just said turn the head, didn't I? You think that's what I'm really going to do? I'm going to hit him. But you practice gentle. Why do you practice gentle? Because there's targets. He's not where I want, I'm going to put him where I want. Okay? Knee drop. Knee drop. Thumb to thumb. You know when I know I got him? Watch his face. Okay? A little bump. I'm going to change his hand. See how I hadn't quite given it to me yet, huh? Hey! That was fun, wasn't it? Okay. So when you're working the technique, and get a breath here. It's kind of fun when you get excited. Warm in here. Any 40-degree weather again. Okay. On the back. Wrong. Do the wrong posture. Do the right posture. Okay, he wants to protect himself, right? So when I threw him, this idea of having a hold of this is hard. This is a hard drop. The hand check. Oh, you cut me off. Right? I didn't lose this, did I? Show me face here. Okay? So when you're practicing, you might want to try that. Okay. Intro to groundwork. Well, that's a good topic, isn't it? Okay. Back down, please. In the Sangaku system, every time we do something to each other, we have to practice it back and forth. When I do the knee drop, he needs to check it off. Second technique. Okay? So I gave him 2 problems to deal with at once. He had to defend the knee drop or worry about his wrist. He didn't have a second choice, did he, Ron? He had to save his hand or save his arm. Any questions? Can I see you do that to Ronnie? Huh? Mm-hmm. All right, perfect. Knee drop. Now that knee drop, put him where you can get to a knee drop. You need to stand where you can put a knee on him. So you got to pull him where he's laying flat. Get him on his back. How you going to do that? Yes. Now, kneel on him. Good. On his heart. You on his heart? Good. Now the wrist lock and roll him over. Wrist lock, roll him over. Do you want me to help you with that wrist lock? I think you got it. Okay, Ronnie, get on your back. Get on your back. Give her an arm. Drag him around a little bit. Rough him up. Rough him up. Drag him around. Put him where you want him. Drag him around. Put him where you want him. He's going to do it to you if you don't. I'm going to have him drag you around in a second. Drag him around. Put him where you want him. There you go. Twist his wrist a little bit. All right, Ronnie, give her a shot. You get on the ground, Alyssa. Give Ronnie your arm. Okay, Ronnie. Put her where you want her. Yeah? Is she tapping? She's not tapping.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There you go.
You just walked in.
Okay. All right. We're going to come back and I'm going to review that for you a little more. We're going to watch this again. Come back. Here we go. All right, lay down for me. Okay. So, invariably, you're going to get somebody where you got them down. If you study judo, we pull up on the gi so that your practice partner don't hurt yourself. You study budo, and so I wear heavy gi, so we're playing that. But the idea of compressing the heart after the throw is important. But this marriage of the hand, maybe you can see it better this way. I have to match my hand to his hand. That's called a mirrored image. I'm just going to push on his thumb and turn his wrist till I get him in what looks like maybe an ulnar lock. Okay. Well, I have to do this from the other side, so once I start to turn him to relieve pressure, he's going to turn. If he turns faster than I turn, he's going to get away. You understand? Okay, so there's a presumptuous concept here that when he threw the first punch and I turned his head, he's not the same attacker he was. Right? So he started at, whatever that attacker was, started at 100%. If you have any degree of success, you should be diminishing that energy with each one of your moves. He's on the ground. He was standing up swinging at you. Okay. So if you don't recognize that technique, match the hand to the hand. Can you see that? Then I'm sliding this down and I'm turning this way right here. Okay? Now, so I threw him down, I did the thing, I got the deal, and I got this, I turn it. And I got it. Now I'm going to place myself behind here. So if I have to, I got an arm bar if I need to. I'm going to change hands. I'm going to touch the elbow. I'm going to squat my knee. And right up in here. And I'm just pressing with my body. I'm just pressing with my body and I'm dislocating it. Try it. Hand to hand. Here we'll do it. Right, stay up here standing for you. One more time, Ronnie. Over here, Morgan, please.
Hi.
Hand. Oh. Okay? Mirror image. I'm just going to twist him. See that? My hand's on top of his hand. Twist. You guys do that move? Okay. Off a wrist grab. Right? Okay, good. All right. So that's all they're doing, Ronnie, is that elbow lock, laying on their back. So, Sensei, can you do it to Ronnie first? And then I know we'll pass that on. So, Ronnie, if you get on your back. Good. Yep. Now roll them over. Excellent. That's why you're the cheeky Deshi, Bill. All right. So, you'll lay back down for me again. So you guys can tell when you're learning the bunkai for the first time. You hear me say it all the time. It looks good on paper, but this idea of practicing with each other, some of the simple stuff because when I practice with you, you notice we're not boxing, and I just want to cover a little piece. There's so many pieces, there's just a ton of pieces. This little piece might help you. This one. Because, like we said, I don't weigh 300 pounds. I don't got all that. So I'm working with a mechanical concept. When you stay inside of the Budo Qigong thing, we're dealing with fire metal point. Nice for conversation. Really hurts. Bottom line is, I'm trying to break his wrist. And so I want to bend him to the point where where he has to tap. Then it acknowledges to me that I'm in the right position. I can then go to the next position. Okay, so we're going to stand back up again. Just kind of, because when you theorize stuff, and then you go out to your dummy, you're really ripping the dummy, because I love ripping on my dummy. You guys won't like me hitting you. Trust me. You will not like it. Because, by the time you get to be a sensei or a Jididashi, you're not hit very hard. How do we teach you guys how to take our place? Certainly not by killing you. And I realize there's got to be a little pain involved. Right? Always a little pain involved. Okay, so you're going to take that punch. There's the technique. See what I did? Hand over the top. Hand over the bottom. Little slide. Little shift. Okay? See where his arm is? Okay, now when I had him on the face, when I had him on the ground before, remember his face? He said, that really hurts. You guys remember walking the dog? Multiple opponents make a difference, some of those techniques. Multiple opponents. Okay? Okay. Now, you got him on the ground, and you pull him around by the arm and stuff. You're going to have to practice that. Okay? I'll give you another little example of it just to kind of help you. All right, there he is. You're going to roll over and get away. No, you ain't. Okay? Stay in the gym, would you? Okay, here we go again. Head. I love mat work. I hate punching and kicking. I really do. Do you need it? Sure. Okay. So I've tossed him around enough. I really want you to work on when you're down there and you have a sense of control to try to maintain that control. And you know, every one of you guys in that room right now bear the capability of striking hard enough. What we all lack is being in the right place at the right time. Pretty important stuff. Last week we worked on a kick. I talked about a little drag. All right? I'm going to take him to the ground. Okay, he still wants to get away. Oh, wait a minute. He's still trying to get up. He wants to get away. Wait a minute. He wants to get away. No, wait a minute. You got to learn to relax. Okay? When you get to be a Kyoshi and a sensei and you've been around this 10 or 15 years, it's child's play. But it's serious child's play. We get accused, oh, you guys still do that 5th grade stuff? We go, huh? Every day. That's what we like to do because we're being grown up yet. This art stuff has been around longer than any of us. I fell in love with it when I was a kid. You guys are falling in love with it now that you're kids. Well, listen, I wasn't born on a mountain. I wasn't raised by all that. I came from a railroad track city. I went to high school, and I just fell in love, and I practiced it. And the one thing I came away with at the end of my life was don't hurt anybody. Okay? We don't want to get hurt. And so people say, oh, you're a 6'9", you must be woo-hoo-hoo. I'll say, well, I'm 67, I'm still alive. Woo-hoo-hoo yourself. I don't know what else to tell you. Real food, water, things I cannot do, Connor. You know, and you should remember this because people say, what do you like about that guy? Because there's things he can't do. Well, here's some things I cannot do. I cannot do the slow motion backward flip. Can't do it. I can't disappear. Okay? And I don't read minds. What I did do is try to get over some of my bad habits as I got older. And this medium seemed to work. And I like playing. It's not that I don't like shooting hoops, but I really like doing this more. Okay? So when you get that practice thing with Sensei going, you guys, when we put you on YouTube and we're going to be doing stuff, I want them to see that we've taken something and we're making it better every week. I want to encourage 50 more schools to be part of us, Bill. And so on Saturday morning, Ronnie, there may be kids from all over the world wanting to practice Jodan Barai with you guys. 10 each side, because we started this thing. A lot of folks that are on the YouTube thing that love martial art, because you know I love martial art, right? So I just want to talk about that. But there's no guns or knives here. It's just manipulation, talking about your health. And if you saw some of those techniques I did today, you go, man, you made that look too easy. But they come out of katas. Okay? Now you trick on his leg that hard, he's not going to work for me tomorrow. Okay? So when you see me doing something simple and I'm playing, you go, if he can do that with his finger and just playing, you better hope he don't tie a rhinoceros to the end of that technique. Whoosh! That's self-defense. It's not built for nothing else than to raise your family and have a career and try to help those that are sick in your world, you know, have a little less pain and stuff. We're supposed to be the example young people look up to. So I don't want to get out here and pretend I'm master of the planet, but I do want to talk about techniques that you can simply do at home and with us at our school every week. So you guys can work on that. Yasa, do you have any extra questions for me today?
We had 2 or 3 of them.
Good. Lay it on me, man. Start with the toughest one first.
In thinking of free-mindedness, the human aspect, the animal aspect, or the mammalian, the human, and the reptilian, how do we incorporate that into our daily lives to sharpen each one? Okay. All right,
that's a place to start. Okay, so when I started my martial art career, we learned body tuning, and you guys do body tuning. And we talked about, the first time we talked about doing left to right. We talked about circulating cerebral spinal fluid. That's up here towards the back of the neck. And then we do trunk twist, and that involves a different part of the spine. So if you remember what Dr. Horn was talking about, he said once you go up into this position, that you're literally going to rotate every one of your vertebrae going up and down. Okay. Well, that's a mechanical visual on something like that. But if you're going to study the Qigong aspect, they talk about different gaits in the back. Well, you know, folks that don't know nothing about this, you know, it's like really hard to tell them this. And so, you know, sometimes they'll go to healing channels and something, and they'll say, well, why do I got to know this in martial art? Well, as you said, it's our everyday life. I do this 24 hours a day. I'm Kyoshi 24 hours a day, not when I'm just on TV. And anybody who knows me knows that. And I probably could just go by Doug, but everybody seemed that Kyoshi thing kind of stuck, so we kind of run with it. So, okay, now let's start with the reptilian brain, which is probably more of the vicious ones, right? And they use, when I was studying that stuff, they talked about snakes and alligators and things that are reptiles, and they just immediately grab stuff. Sometimes we got to be careful about that. I think your clothes look stupid. Oh, I think I'm going to go reptilian on you. Ah! That's the beauty of education. Some people are very articulate with speech, and they avoid that reptilian response, which is only for when it's serious. What's a mammalian response? More nurturing. That's a nurturing response. You know, being worried about others. And of course, the human response is above all the self-actualization with spirituality. How do you do that every day in your life? Well, we start with 36 breaths. We're hoping that the voice that we hear is the one we should be listening to. But, you know, opinions are only good for 24 hours because you might change your mind. So through the 36 breaths, things have occurred to me. If that wasn't, there was a message that came to me from outer space. It was a past lesson from maybe a second grade teacher, maybe my aunt, my uncle, but all of a sudden that thing came back. When I allowed myself to get into that set where I would hold myself in a 36 breath posture and try to feel the 3 gates on my back and try to inhale through my nose and bring that up. Every one of us, you know, at 67, I wish you could have met me when I was 27 because I'm a different guy at 27. 40 years later of this stuff and running into young people, it's hard to tell a lie to a young person because they're going to be tied 10 more years. Remember when you were as a kid, Ronnie? You're not a kid anymore, and you're still listening to me. So, you know, that's a plus. I want you guys to be able to do that. That no matter in 10 years, some kid comes back to you and you say, you know, you were always square with me, man. That's what Sangaku is supposed to be about. I've been with Dr. Horn 32 years. Try to keep it square. And we learn these techniques. Now, you know, we're doing the YouTube and Facebook stuff, but I was a young guy like you, Ron, and Alyssa, excuse me, that I had to have videotapes, you know, and I had to listen to other people say things. And this is just an accumulation. So you guys are going to be an accumulation someday, and your 36 breaths, your reptilian, mammalian, and human brain is probably going to change. So last week's show, I said, if you're healthier a year from now, we've done pretty good. We're on the right track. So I would recommend the 36 breaths, the body tuning, for engaging in those three aspects of that the Chinese medicine is talking about: the human, the mammalian, and the reptilian. The reptilian being more your martial response. The other two are a little bit more lightweight. But you need them, because to be well-rounded, as Dr. Horn says, being well-rounded is kind of important. So what I know today, and then maybe next week I want to know something else, hey, you guys are going to be the first ones I call. Hey, I learned something new. Let me tell you about it. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. So I find the answer to what you asked me in body tuning and in 36 breaths. Okay, because that's how I study. So if you're looking for that answer, that's the medium I would first implore. There's a million books on the subject, but as Dr. Horton and I would tell you, this is where we start. And I know, I had a guy tell me one time, well, why am I going to follow you for 20 years just to find out you're wrong? I don't know, watch a TV show. You'll always have a way to come back on me. Okay, what's your second question?
The second question is, what is the importance of foot location in martial application and in day-to-day life? The importance of foot location.
Okay, I like that foot location. EMC has a term he likes to use, and he's going to share that with you. Go ahead, tell him.
I like to use the term foot dominance to get to the outside angle of the foot so you can turn. So, say his foot's here, I want to get my foot to the outside of his foot, foot dominance. That way I can use my knee, I can use anything I want, strikes, but it's predicated on getting your foot to the outside edge of their foot. Outside edge of their foot.
Okay, so foot dominance is very important, right? EMC believes in it. How many types of foot dominances are there? You want to know that one, right? Would you show us a foot dominance? Somebody? Anybody want to? No, I want you to show me one. Oh, that's a good one. I like foot dominance. All right. Show it again, Bill, please. Again. Foot dominance. That's good. I like it a lot. Okay. Perfect. Very good. So as you can see, you're going to throw a punch, or he's going to grab me. He left something out there, didn't he? Okay, so if I'm standing, that's one thing. If I'm kneeling, watch what happens to maybe foot dominance. So you can change. Like we said, we like to do this foot stuff. I agree. I'm big on that. And I really like checking the knee. But I like the idea of changing your position. Okay? So in his explanation, and he's absolutely correct, you must be at the right place. But if you can keep your opponent from being in the right place, you might can trick him into thinking he's got you, and if you change your position, that technique might not work for him. All right, change your feet, change your position. You good? Okay. Did that answer that a little bit? Okay. Now, with every one of your stances, it's supposed to create that overall thing of foot dominance. They have a tension stance, they have open toe stance, they have shoulder width, they have kiba. And there's your exercises for your ankles, y'all. You're getting like not that much sand and trying to start moving 6 inches of sand with your feet. You got some pretty good ankles, because guess who's the target I like? Ankle. Wrist. This palm up here at the head, he's thinking. This thing here just reacts. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a body alarm reaction. Okay, Dragon Society. Okay, third question.
Third question we have for you is, what is the ability to get in position through striking? Is it important to be able to
Okay, here's one of the things. I got an idea what you're talking about. Now, MC doesn't get a chance to unload on me here, but he's got a barrage of stuff. And if I'm getting you right, if he was in a different format other than how I pretend to deal with this, if I was sweating on his head, he might duck down and just hit underneath that. He might just, and if he got that position, well, then he could begin to pursue something. So, in my world, if he throws a punch, I want to try to work with this a little bit before I unload on him. But in the fast-paced world, you might see that response. So, Ronnie, when we get moving along a little bit, and you like that whoosh stuff a little more, this guy's been at it about 15 years. And so when he took the gloves off on the other day, he said, even his training partner said, that's a different world when you take those gloves off. He said, yeah, everything works, doesn't it? So, like I said, I can't take my gloves. There's things that work. You take them things off. That's all I can tell you. Your hands work a lot better. So, two things happens for everything. It's health and mechanics is what we're talking about. It's your health and mechanics. And you have to, when you determine the mechanical posture and the health of your opponent that's attacking you, as you get later on in this science, you'll begin to understand their weaknesses before they ever even move. So any of us that study psychology, we know when we exhibit poor behavior, we know there's something going on inside that's wrong. So I look for physiological, I do a schematic of everybody, skin color, skin touch, eye sclera. You get that over time. You're going to just learn that. If you were a regular doctor and if you'd seen 5,000 people, you'd see a flu and a cold just like that. So that's the advantage of being a sensei and a Kyoshi. We have a lot of students come in. Each and every one of our students have some issue. If it's not emotional, it's physical or spiritual. And then they ask us to help them fix it. I'll say, yeah, we can help you fix it, but geez, are you willing to go through the effort that we go through? And at the same time, I get that response. Well, senseis don't know everything. I say, yeah, you're right. But, I'm maybe not what you thought I should be, and maybe I'm not as good as I could have been, but I'm going to tell you something. Oh, a heck of a lot better than what it was. And so I encourage you to try daily to get over yourself, psychologically, spiritually, and physically. Get rid of your bad habits. And when you're old, you go, I really like myself. Said, I let myself go to hell. You got your choice. And this program was designed way back before I was born. Some old guy was sitting back in the woods and some kid said, Onae gaishimasu. My life is wrecked. I got nowhere to go. I got nothing to do. I don't know what to do. The old man says, come in here. Maybe there's something here for you. I stayed. Not everybody stays. I hope you all stay. I hope more of you come on board. We want to keep working with you. And as I tell you all the time, time takes time. You got to be a white belt. I didn't like being an old guy, Ron. Trust me. People liked me a lot better when I was cute. I'm getting old and wrinkly and stiff, and Soke's going that route, and we're really counting on you young guys to pay attention to what we're talking about. So in 25 years, some young kids looking at you, going, I'm sure glad you took the time to learn that, because I'm hoping today after this class you're going, wow, there's a lot of stuff to learn. And I hope that's what makes you feel like you're part of something big and not something silly. I got a guy I'm talking to, and he talked about the black belt drama. And I said, yeah, that is kind of a problem. What's my rank? I don't know. Ask your kids. Who am I? Ask the people next to you. Who am I? Ain't I a purple belt? They don't know. They know if you're acting right or not acting right. And if the martial art medium helps you, I think it helped me a little bit. Maybe something else would have helped me more. I don't know. So if there's any more questions, I'm going to thank you for watching. I hope you work on getting control of whoever's on the ground so that you can do that drop. It's a suggestion that you try to get them in the bad position that I showed earlier. Try to get them in that spot, and then try to do the knee drop. Practice, practice, practice. If you guys are going to practice, you're going to send me back a clip. Chudon. Well, we kind of covered Chudon a little bit with a little dragging around part. So I was going to cover Chudon a little bit. But, on these things here, we call that hand check clear and that kind of stuff. And then in our medium, we were talking about energy drain, So we're going to elaborate on that. Remember, we've only been shooting here a couple of weeks. Everybody in the world wants a free lesson. You know, I've been at this most of my life. Shoki's been at this most of his life, and everybody says, oh, we want it for free. Well, unfortunately, at some point, will be a website, and these classes won't be available. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm going to stop doing this at some point. We're going to go to a website, and they're going to have to come on board like a school member. They're going to wash their feet. They're going to help support the dojo. And they're going to ask their sensei, Onae Ishimasu. And those are the groups we're going to deal with. So we did the baby fist. I gave you the words of wisdom. Clothing thought. Train, and train more. And remember, there's people all over the world, Bill. They need our help. Okay? If somebody's doing something wrong, somebody's got a little screwy, you know as well as I do. We're supposed to set good example. It may not be the best one, but I hope it's not a bad one. I want to thank everybody, Facebook Live, for watching us. Bill, you guys, Onae Ishimasu, thank you very much. And that's it.